Hey Cactus crew, how you guys going? I hope everyone's going well. If you're new here, hi, I'm Bill. Welcome to my channel. Sometimes I read Katie's articles, and when I say sometimes, I mean I used to do it regularly, and then reading it aloud messed with my head. It made it even more real, and it's some dark shit. So that's what this video is going to be. I am going to be adding to my playlist. I'll link down below and in the pinned comment, Old Without a Crystal Ball articles. This is a pretty heartbreaking article. I've put it off for a while until I can have a strong heart to read it. It's got to do with V's feeding tube, which if you've been part of my channel for a while, you know that the pieces of the puzzle that we have been putting together relating to the feeding tube are painting a fucking horror story. I really do not believe he needs this feeding tube. Like I've said in past videos, I share similar disorders with V. I was born 8 weeks prem, and I almost had spina bifida, which is why I have gastroparesis. Basically, my digestive system is paralyzed. Not to the extent where I'm on a feeding tube. I almost did though. For a long time, I was on the formula. There's a few things I want to point out just before we get into it. Let's keep in mind V's birth date, the 11th of October, 2012. The article I'm going to be reading today is from June 9th, 2016. So it's not even 4 years old. And a little bit extra info on top of that. For 3.5 years, V was in daycare, Monday to Friday, all day until 6 or 7 p.m. at night. Then Katie would bring him home and put him in bed because daycare was feeding him, you know? On the weekends, he went out and about, did everything. She was showing him around. I'll insert pictures throughout this video. It's going to be heavy. I have to do it. I have to use my voice. I have to use my personal experience to help this child. He's now 11. In February 2016, Katie Joy left her work at the call center for Capella University. February 2016, March, April, May, June, 4 months. 4 months of parenting her child every single day while being paid to be his caregiver. 4 months. 16 weeks is all it took for her to make sure her son was failure to thrive so that he could get a permanent feeding tube. This bitch is evil. This bitch is fucking evil. Share this video everywhere. I'm never going to shut up about this. As much as it fucking kills me as an empath. Comment below, let me know what you think. Consider subscribing. Links and everything in the description box if you would like to follow me. TikTok, Instagram, and X at It's Crystal Bill. Everything I say is my own opinion. And let me just say, I have a background in psych. I have a background in brain development of children after trauma. There's a lot going on here, and there's a lot of addiction. There's a drunk mum drowning in her own sorrows, writing these articles, admitting to the world that for the first 5 years of her son's life, she was drunk every single day. Her husband was making homemade mead, making so much that they had to drink more. They were so hungover, taking care of their special needs child. Katie is a narcissist. My mum had the patience to take care of a premature child. I had to go to speech therapy and everything because I couldn't talk properly because I didn't know what to do with my tongue. Katie, instead of seeing the symptoms her son was showing, hydrocephalus, which he had untreated for 4.5 years because, in my theory, the doctors questioned her. At 3 months old, they must have questioned her when she brought in her 3-month-old child with traumatic brain injury, which translates to shaken baby syndrome. Does Katie have patience? Does Katie react to the sound of her son in trouble, in harm, crying? No. We have seen that. We've seen Toad yell, and she does not react. No connection there because she's a fucking narcissist, so she doesn't have emotion. So she's not connected to her child.
Is he asleep?
I have spent 10 hours in that room.
So any pain she inflicts on her child, she doesn't feel. She takes photos of him crying and posts it like, happy family. No, your child's in pain. She can't differentiate between emotions. She doesn't know what her child is feeling. But do you know what she's feeling? She's feeling like a fucking god because she's got the power. Letter to my son before surgery, June 9th, 2016. Dear V, I'm writing you this letter on the eve of a surgery to help you get bigger and stronger. I'm writing this letter so I don't forget why we made this choice. There will be days in the future you will want to know why we needed this to be done. You will wonder why the doctors put a hole in your tummy, and you will tell them you hate things on your tummy. I know it's not going to be pleasant for the first few months, but I know this feeding tube will help to save your life. You always have had trouble eating. It wasn't because you didn't want to eat, but because your brain and mouth just couldn't quite work together. I can still see the look in your eyes when you see cookies, and I can tell you how badly you enjoy putting the sweetness in your mouth. However, the cookie always ends up in a ball on the side of your cheek. You see, you just can't swallow the cookie. It isn't because you don't want to eat the cookie, but you can't figure out how to eat the cookie. It's already mumble jumble because Katie doesn't understand his disorder. If she doesn't understand his disorder, then why does she want the feeding tube? Because it comes with benefits for her. She gets to be a special needs mum. She gets to have equipment that from the outside looks like her son is more disabled than he is. They're getting a property tax exemption by having a dependent living under their roof. That dependent has a permanent disability. The feeding tube classifies V as having a permanent disability. Katie's got a disability with her writing. We tried really, really hard to help you learn to eat. Every single option was explored. You were given fruit without skins, pureed foods, Pediasure, fried yogurt, and we added butter to everything. Bullshit, Katie. You shared the photos. You gave him grapes with the skin on. Choking food. You gave him corn that he was never going to digest. All these pictures prove that you are lying. You're lying to your son. And I'm reading it out, vocalizing it. It's fucking heart-wrenching. He continues, we were able to do all right, but then your heart started to deteriorate. The doctors had us go see a special doctor about your heart. Your valves were broken and that you needed surgery, that my lungs were underdeveloped. And then to build up the strength of my lungs, my dad threw me in the pool, you know. They got to learn to swim somehow. I swam before I walked, and that allowed all my muscles to build up around my hips and my legs and my lungs, my breathing. He told us the most important thing we could do for you was to help you grow big and strong for open heart surgery. This is June 2016. V didn't have open heart surgery until the end of 2018. So this is 2 more years to go. Why is open heart surgery capital letters? Because it is a title. It's a badge of honor for Katie. How many times has she thrown that out? My son, heart surgery. He's had 5, 6, 7 brain surgeries when it's not actually brain surgery. Putting the shunt in for the hydrocephalus that she fucking ignored and let his head build up with cerebral fluid over 4.5 years. If you Google it, they say 3.5, the longest, because the child would probably pass away because the amount of brain damage. He didn't have the energy. He's a prem baby. He was also couldn't eat because of the cerebral fluid building up in his brain. Pressure, pushing parts back, restricting growth of his brain. And Katie ignored this. Like I said at the beginning of this video, she ignored it because she was drunk. She was selfishly indulging in her own vices. They will always put their addictions above their child. The neural defects that V has, a lot of them fall under fetal alcohol syndrome. And there's no fucking denying this, that V looks exactly like Katie. Exactly. Do you know why? That is the generational cycle of substance abuse showing up in their facial features. Fetal alcohol syndrome is right there. Katie's grandma also had it, Grandma Mary. And then also Katie's mum had it too. And what were these women known for? They were known for being narcissists. And they were known for drinky, drinky. It's all in the action of the drinky, drinky. I'm denying all my problems, drinky, drinky. Then, suddenly, you stop growing. I wonder why. Did it coincide with your mother leaving work? Because you were eating fine before that. Then your mother came and she fed you this food. She made you choke. She made you fear food. I've consumed so many of Katie's fucking old blogs, old articles. Playlist linked in the description box below or the pinned comment as well. It was probably a combination of your failing heart and your body's inability to swallow that made it next to impossible to get enough nutrients in your body.
It was probably...
Aren't you meant to know? Over the course of several months. No, Katie, over the course of 3 months. You did that because if you cared, you would have sat there. And mum would sit with me for like 3 hours or some ridiculous. A lot, isn't it? I wasn't an only child either. I have 3 other siblings. Over the course of several months, you lost 10% of your body weight. That's a pretty big chunk when you were still very little. The doctors, Daddy, and I got really concerned. We knew we couldn't keep going and that you needed extra help to grow big and strong. We knew going in that you were going to hate the tube. It's a fight to change your clothes and a fight to give you daily injections in your tummy, so I know this will be a very difficult transition. However, this decision is made with love. Just a reminder that narcissists don't know how to love. They don't feel love, they don't feel emotion, they don't have emotional connection to people. That's why it's so easy for Katie to use her son as a shield, use his story as her own pity party. The survival tapes, I'll link them below as well. What is that? Well, you'll have to go and see. It's pretty evil, just like this fucking letter is. However, this decision is made with love. We love you so much that we want you to have all the nourishment you need to grow big and strong. Your heart needs all the extra calories it can. Also, she used he needs to get big and strong for heart surgery. That's how she got him on the feeding tube. She wanted it as a temporary, just for heart. And then we'll reassess. Him to eat. We care. Your heart needs all the extra calories it can get right now because it's working much harder than your average heart. Your cardiologist told us eating will worse and worse as your heart continues to deteriorate. The tube will give us time to get you healthier for surgery, time to have more energy and fun, and time to grow and thrive. Which nothing grows and thrives in the Paulson house. Every day, negativity central, no positivity being planted in his mind. Possibility that he isn't as sick as they say. Why doesn't Toad use his fucking skills and paint a big mural or something in his bedroom? You can be whatever you want to be. Paint it on the wall. Tell him daily. Remind him. They don't do that. They yell at him. They don't have the patience. They shove an iPad in his face because they are struggling with substance abuse, alcoholism, drug abuse. It's been going on for well over 2 decades. Katie's spoken about it. She's admitted to it. She's admitted to neglecting him for the first 5 years of his life. I'm trying to use my voice and it's heartbreaking. It's fucking heartbreaking. When you ask why we did this because we love you so much. We wanted to give you every possible chance to get healthy. You have bigger mountains to climb and you will need several open heart surgeries as you grow. This surgery will be tiny by comparison to when they fix your heart, but this will enable them to fix your heart. We want to have many more memories with you. For fuck's sake, Katie, we want to have many more memories with you. We want you to grow up, go to school, play with your friends, and enjoy many more birthdays. This tiny surgery is going to give us so much more than you will ever understand. Exactly, Katie. Give you so much more. This surgery is going to give us so much more. Why can't you say give him so much more? Because it's not about him. It's about you. You're having a hard time feeding him. You can't get him to eat. You don't have the patience, you don't have the time, and you don't care. You don't love him. You use him, and we see it. And that's why I'm calling child abuse. The food that you fed him is not the right food. You were feeding him what you cooked for dinner. Also, there's an article, and maybe I'll read this next week. We're on a roll. I might as well bring out all the fucking horrendous ones that I have not been able to stop thinking about since I read. Like in between, after he had feeding tube surgery, he went to the dentist in 2017. Yeah, the next year. Goes to the dentist, fucking rotting teeth. His teeth are rotting deep into his gum, infections. They have to remove his teeth. Katie didn't clean his teeth. She doesn't care. That's another reason why he couldn't eat. He's fucking in pain. Probably another reason why he couldn't talk. He's in pain. Narcissists cannot recognize emotions. They can't recognize feelings. They don't know. All they know is they've got the power, and this child is relying on them to get through the day to survive. Like she says, we want you to have another birthday. We want many more memories with you. It's a fucking manipulation. This tiny surgery is going to give us so much more than you will ever understand. We will have a peace of mind knowing you will get the nutrients you need. You will be able to grow on a more consistent curve, and your brain will have all the nutrients it needs to thrive and develop. Even though you were born with several chronic illnesses, you are one of the smartest kids we know. We want to help you reach your full potential, and sometimes that means we have to make really hard decisions for you. We want you to learn to love to eat. We hope this will bring you a sort of stress relief because we know you hate eating. This is going to help us get to the next step. We hope that when you look back on everything, you will know we did this with love for your future. You deserve a fighting chance, and sometimes that means you have to do things a little differently. This will be a new normal for us, and I promise you, it will help us reach your fullest potential. It's a new normal. Straight on, she jumps on Facebook Live. I'll link this down below. It's called Mama Knows Best, but she doesn't know best. Love Mummy.
Love Mummy Dearest?
I've said so much through this, but I want to hear what you think.